Array module. Why I'm opening module 1? Just wait. Can anyone unmute yourself and let me know whether my slides are visible or not and whether I am
Yes, sir.
audible or
It's
not?
visible, sir.
Okay,
Visible.
fine, 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 fine. Thank
It's
you.
audible.
Okay, so let me quickly go back to the slide that we need to discuss today. Yes, so good afternoon to everyone. So before starting today's class, let me give you a brief recap of what we have did in the last class. If you remember, in the last class, we have solved one simple problem related to Soderbergh theory, Goodman theory, and Gerber line, and that problem was related to finding out of factor of safety. And we have also discussed about the modified Goodman diagram. Fine. If you remember, in the last class I have told you that there is a disadvantage of using the normal Goodman diagram. If you use the normal Goodman diagram, then there is some portion, because when you combine that normal Goodman diagram with the yield diagram, there is some portion which is not suitable to design, because if any point, any coordinate point of sigma m and sigma a, if it lies in that particular region, fine, then what will happen? Your design will be unsafe for fatigue failure as well as for yield failure. So in order to compromise that particular part, or in order to remove that particular part, what we did, we modified the Goodman diagram. How we modified? We combined the yield line with the Goodman line. If you see in this diagram, if you see in this diagram, we have taken the BC portion of the yield line, and we have taken the AB portion of the Goodman line. Now the area or the region under OABC curve, this is my modified Goodman region, and any point, or any point, say that point is X, say that point is say but x is over here, fine, it will have some value of sigma m, and it will have some value of sigma a, fine, and it is very much clear from this point that this point is lying inside the Goodman diagram, as well as this point is lying inside the yield diagram. That means this point, which is this point, any value of sigma m and sigma a is safe to design in fatigue as well as in yield line. But when we were using the normal Goodman diagram, then when you use the normal Goodman diagram, this is the normal Goodman diagram, and this is your yield diagram. Then this region, that is BCF, this region, if you see this region, if you take any point within the region, say that point is X, say this point, fine, it is very much clear from the diagram that this point is good to design, this point is good to design in fatigue, but this point is unsafe to design in yield. But if we are having a ductile material, if any component is made up of ductile material, definitely that component should be safe in design, whether you take the yielding criteria or you take the fatigue criteria. So in order to compromise this, or in order to eliminate this region, what we have did, we have combined the fatigue diagram with the yield diagram. After combination, the region which you get, that is the region OABC, that region is known as your modified Goodman diagram region, and any point which is lying inside the modified Goodman diagram region will be safe to design for both fatigue as well as for yield. Okay, so these things we have discussed in the last class. If anyone can respond. Hello.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Fine. Okay. And we got these equations from this graph only. I have told you that in the similar manner, see, this diagram was applicable. This modified Goodman diagram you will only use when the component is subjected to axial and bending stresses. But if the same component is subjected to torsional shear stress, for example, you take the case of shaft. Normally, shaft fails by shearing because torsion takes place in shaft. Then, which theory you have to use? You have to use the modified Goodman diagram theory, but this time for torsional shear stress. Now, from the diagram, it is very much clear that the area under the region OABC, this area under the region OABC represents the modified Goodman diagram region for torsional shear stress. Fine. So, what will be the failure equation? Failure equation will be, since I have told you in the very beginning when I was discussing the fatigue failure, that mean stress will not give rise to the fatigue failure. Only the alternating stress will give rise to fatigue failure, because alternating stress is that stress which varies in magnitude above and below the mean line. And I know by definition of fatigue that any stress which varies in magnitude with in certain interval of time, that will give rise to fatigue failure. Fine. So fatigue failure will only occur using the modified Goodman diagram for torsional shear stress when the torsional shear stress amplitude, that is tau A, is equal to SSE. What is SSE? SSE is nothing but the endurance limit of that particular component in shear, that is SSE. In this diagram, what is SE? SE is the endurance limit of a particular component when it is subjected to axial and bending stresses. What is SSE? SSE is nothing but the endurance limit of the same component when it is subjected to torsional shear stresses. So when failure will take place, fatigue failure will only occur when the torsional stress amplitude, that is tau A, becomes equal to SSE. And when the static failure will take place, in case of static failure you have to take the maximum stress, and maximum stress will be nothing but combination of mean stress as well as amplitude stress, that is nothing but tau A plus tau M. And if I am talking about static failure, fine, so in case of ductile material, I know that static failure will only take place when the strength of that material becomes equal to the yield strength. So for static failure, maximum shear stress, that is nothing but tau A plus tau M, becomes equal to SSY. So if factor of safety is taken into account, then how this equation changes? I know that factor of safety is what? Factor of safety is, that is factor of safety is what? Failure stress divided by permissible stress. Fine. So failure stress will be nothing but the endurance limit stress in case of shear, and that is nothing but SSE divided by permissible stress. And permissible stress, if I talk about fatigue failure, that permissible stress will be nothing but tau A stress amplitude. In case of static failure, that permissible stress will be nothing but tau max. So I can write factor of safety is equal to SSE by tau A in case of fatigue failure, or tau A becomes SSE by factor of safety, and in case of static failure, factor of safety is SSE by tau max, or I can write tau max is equal to SSY by factor of safety. So with the help of these equations, you can design any component when it is subjected to torsional shear stress and due to that torsional shear stress, it is undergoing fatigue by modified Goodman diagram. Is it clear? Any doubt? कोई डाउट है किसी को?
No, sir.
Okay,
No, sir.
okay. So what I will do is that in today's class, I will solve one problem related to your modified Goodman diagram as well as with the Gerber diagram. What you do is that in the Bhandari, I think that example is given that solve that same problem by this modified Goodman diagram for torsional shear stress also. I'm not solving the problem related to this torsional shear stress because more or less everything will be same, only this diagram will change and these design equation will change. Remaining everything is same, all the procedure is same, fine. So you just see this problem. Some one solved example is there, that is modified Goodman diagram for torsional shear stress, fine. Okay, so let us solve a problem. So read the problem. The problem is a cantilever beam made of cold drawn steel 40C8. SUT is 600 Newton per millimeter square and SYT is 380 Newton per mm square. Fine. That means ultimate strength is given to you as well as yield strength is also given to you. The force P acting at the free end varies from minus 50 Newton to plus 150 Newton. In the diagram, it is very much clear that the force is fluctuating in nature and it is fluctuating from minus 50 Newton to plus 150 Newton. Definitely, if this force is fluctuating in nature, it will have some mean component as well as it will have some alternating component that we need to find out. The expected reliability is 90%. Reliability is given to you, that is 90%, and factor of safety is 2. FOS is given to you as 2. The notch sensitivity factor at the fillet is 0.9. That means value of small q is given to you. Q is your notch sensitivity factor, that is 0.9. What you need to determine? You need to determine the diameter of the beam at the fillet cross section. So from the diagram I can see that this is the fillet cross section. Fine. This is the fillet cross section, and at the fillet cross section diameter of the beam is nothing but small d. This small d I need to find out using first the Gerber theory of failure and secondly using modified Goodman theory of failure. Is the problem clear to all of you? क्या सबको समझ में आया problem?
Yes, sir.
Other people, बाकी लोग please respond करो whether the problem is
Yes,
clear
sir.
or not. Okay, fine.
Clear, sir.
Okay. Now, see, this problem I can ask in many ways. This was the first way. Second way is, say if I don't give you, if I only give you that determine the diameter of the beam at the fillet cross section, only this much. The question is only this much. Fine. Now you have to decide that how you have to solve the problem. Fine. Whether you will be using SN diagram to solve the problem or you will be using endurance diagram to solve the problem. How you can identify? You can identify that whether this problem you will be solving by the endurance diagram or by SN diagram by this term. See, it is given in the problem that the force acting at the free end varies from minus 50 to plus 150 Newton. That means minimum force acting is minus 50 Newton and maximum force acting is plus 150 Newton. And from these values, it is very much clear that this force is fluctuating in nature. If you remember in some previous classes, some 4 5, if you go back to some 4 5 previous classes, I have told you about three types of stresses: repeated stress, reversed stress, fluctuating stress. What is fluctuating stress? Fluctuating stress is that stress which varies in magnitude about a mean line. Fine. So this is fluctuating load. If I talk about reversed load, it will be how much? It will be like this. plus minus say 150 Newton. That means whatever load you are getting in tension, that same load you will get in compression. So for reversed load condition, you have to use SN diagram. And for fluctuating load condition, because I know that in fluctuating load condition only the mean component will come as well as alternating component will come. And I have seen in endurance diagram that endurance diagram comprises of mean component as well as alternating components. So I have to use endurance diagram to solve this problem. This is the way how you have to understand that which which theory you have to use to solve the problem, whether you have to use the ascent diagram or you have to use the endurance diagram. क्या ये बात समझ में आया? कैसे मैं क्वेश्चन को पकड़ूंगा, कैसे समझ में आएगा कि कौन सा इक्वेशन को लेके सॉल्व करना है? कोई डाउट किसी को?
नो सर।
ओके, अगर मैं दे देता हूँ सिंपली दैट यूज गर्बर थ्योरी, यूज मॉडिफाइड गुडमैन डायग्राम, देन आपके लिए इजी हो जाता है। फाइन, अगर मैं ये 2 पॉइंट ना दूं, तब कैसे समझना है कि ये कौन सा प्रॉब्लम है? क्या ये गुडमैन का प्रॉब्लम है कि क्या ये एसएन डायग्राम का प्रॉब्लम है? देन यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड लाइक दिस। ओके, fine. So let us solve the problem. First of all, what is given to us? SUT value is given to us, that is 600 Newton per millimeter square. SYT is given to us 380 Newton per millimeter square. Fluctuating load value is given to us, that is minus 50 Newton to plus 150 Newton. Reliability given is 90%. Factor of safety given is 2. And notch sensitivity factor, that is small q, is given as 0.9. What I need to find out? I need to find out the diameter of the beam at the fillet cross section. And from the diagram, it is very much clear that at the fillet cross section diameter of the beam is small d. That I need to find out by using Gerber theory and by using modified Goodman diagram. So before starting the problem, since I have to use what? Firstly, I have to use Gerber theory. So first let us draw the Gerber diagram first. So I know that Gerber diagram is plotted in an xy plane. In x plane we are having mean stress sigma m, and in y axis we are having alternate stress sigma a. I also know that Gerber diagram is nothing but a parabolic curve joining SE in y axis to SUT in x axis. Fine. If you see this diagram carefully, there is a term called SE. What is SE? SE is nothing but the endurance limit of this particular beam. So before finding out the diameter of the beam, firstly I need to find out this endurance limit SE, because SUT is given to me in the problem. In the problem, SUT is given to me. Fine. Sigma A and sigma M is not given to me, but I can find it out by the help of this value. This minus 50 Newton and plus 150 Newton. Fine. And AC is not given to me. So if AC is not given to me, I cannot use Gerber theory. So very first step is to find out the value of endurance limit SE. Is it clear? कोई डाउट यहाँ तक? हेलो,
नो सर।
ठीक है. So how we can find out the value of SE? You know, I have told you in some previous classes that there is a relationship between AC and SE dash, and that relationship is SE is equal to KA, KB, KC, KD, SE dash. Now I will use this relation to find out the value of Fe. Fine. In this relation, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 unknown factors are there. So one by one, let us find out all these 5 unknown factors. First of all, let us find out the value of Se dash. Se dash, how I will get? I will get it from the design data book. And Se dash depend upon the material of the beam. In the problem, it has been told to you that the beam is made up of cold drawn steel. That means the material of the beam is steel. Then from the design data book, I know that if material is steel, Then for steel, SE dash becomes 0.5 times of SUT. That is 0.5 into 600. So SE dash comes out to be 300 Newton per millimeter square. कोई डाउट यहाँ तक किसी को?
No, sir.
Okay. So next is Ka. What is Ka? I know that Ka is my surface finish factor. Again from design data book, I know that the value of Ka is what? It is A into SUT to the power B. But आप लोग directly मत लिखना, आप लोग को लिखना पड़ेगा bracket में कि from design data book page number so and so surface finish factor Ka is given as A into SUT to the power B. Fine. And what is A and B? Again, A and B I can find out from the design data book. Again, it will depend upon the type of machining, how you have machined that particular beam. On the basis of that machining, you will determine the value of A and B. If you see the problem carefully, in the very first line it is written that a cantilever beam made of cold drawn steel. So for cold drawn steel, from design data book, I will see what is the value of A and what is the value of B. That value of A is 4.51 and value of B is minus 0.265. So I will use the equation, that is Ka is equal to A, which is 4.51 into SUT, which is 600 to the power B, that is minus 0.265. Solve it, you will get the value of Ka and it is coming out to be 0.82. कोई डाउट यहाँ तक किसी को?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next is KB. What is KB? KB is my size factor. And if you see in your data book, the KB depends upon diameter. Depends upon diameter of the component. But in the given problem, I need to find out the value of diameter. Then how we can find out the value of KB? If you remember in some previous classes, I have told you that when you need to determine the value of diameter, when in the question you need to determine the value of diameter of any component, then you have to consider the second condition of KB. That is, that second condition from the design data book is when the diameter varies between 7.5 mm to 50 mm. That means we go for optimum condition. So for that case, from design data book, I will get the value of KB to be 0.85. Is it clear? Is it clear? Hello.
Yes, sir. Clear, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, fine.
Yes, sir.
Next is Kc. What is Kc? I know that Kc is my reliability factor. This also I can find out from the design data book, and it is given in the problem that reliability is 90%. So corresponding to 90% reliability, what is your Kc from the design data book? And that is nothing but 0.897. Next is KD. What is KD? KD is your modifying factor to account for stress concentration. And I know that KD is nothing but it is the reciprocal of fatigue stress concentration factor. That is KD is equal to 1 by KF. And fatigue stress concentration factor, that also I know that it is given by the formula 1 plus Q times of KT minus 1, where Q is notch sensitivity factor, which is already given in the problem. Kt is what? Stress concentration factor. Now this I have to find out from the design data book. Fine, so let us find out Kt. So in order to find out the value of Kt, first of all you have to observe the diagram carefully. Observe the diagram carefully. So once you have observed the diagram carefully, and then you have to see the similar type of diagram in those charts. Which charts? In those KT charts. So can anyone tell me that in this problem what is happening? What is given to you? Your object is cantilever beam. What is happening with that cantilever beam? Whether the beam is subjected to tension, whether it is subjected to bending, or it is subjected to shear. What is happening in the beam? What is happening in the beam?
Building.
Yes, I can see that due to this fluctuating load of minus 50 Newton to plus 150 Newton, the entire beam is bending at the fixed point as well as at the as well as at the notch point. But which portion will I take in account? I will take in account the notch portion. Why? Because at the notch portion the cross section of the beam is suddenly decreasing, stress will be very high, and normally in design we go for high stress value. Fine. So you can see that minus 50 into 100 Newton will create a bending at the fillet, as well as plus 150 into 100, this much moment will again create a bending at the fillet. Fine. So now from those charts, which charts? From stress concentration factor chart, which chart I will see? I will see the I will see that a beam subjected to bending. I will see that chart, that is a beam subjected to bending. In that chart you will get two values, that is one is small r by d value, one you will get small r by d value, and another one you will get capital D by small d value. If you remember, capital D by small d values are nothing but the curved lines, and small r by d is nothing but your x-axis. You will get it on x-axis, and your y-axis you are having your kt. So you have to just first find out what is small r by d, then find out what is capital D by small d, and then just equate those two values in the graph. The corresponding value whatever you will get in y-axis will be your kt. So can anyone tell me from this diagram what is small r by d? What is small r by d? Can anyone from the diagram, can you please tell me what is small r by d? Hello? Hello?
Yes,
Yes,
sir,
sir,
you're
you're
audible.
audible.
Yes. What is small r by d? From the diagram, please let me know what is small r by d and what is capital D by small d. क्या होगा बोलो? डायग्राम में तो दिया हुआ है स्मॉल r by d एंड कैपिटल D by small d. Smaller.
Sir, capital D by small d is 1.5
Yes, yes, very good. This is
and
my.
small r by d is 0.2
Yes,
upon
yes, yes,
0.2.
yes. This is capital D. This is small d. Fine. So capital D is equal to 1.5 times of small d. So capital D by small d is 1.5. So capital D by small d is 1.5. And what is small r by d? I know that this notch radius is nothing but small r. And in the diagram it is given that small r is equal to zero point 0.2 times of d. So small r by d is equal to zero point 0.2. So corresponding to small r by d equal to zero point 0.2 and capital D by small d equal to 1.5 from design data book, considering that particular table, I will get the value of kt, and that kt is coming out to be 1.32. क्या कोई डाउट यहाँ पे किसी को? मैं वहाँ पे गया नहीं क्योंकि आप लोगों ने किया है, कैसे निकालना है केटी आप लोग ऑलरेडी कर चुके हो, इसलिए फिर से मैं जाऊंगा तो वहाँ पे टाइम वेस्ट होगा, इसलिए मैं वहाँ पे गया नहीं. क्या क्लियर है? केटी इज 1.32. कोई डाउट यहाँ तक? हेलो? एनी
No,
डाउट?
sir.
No, sir.
Okay. So KT is, since KT is 1.32, now I can use the equation of KF, that is fatigue stress concentration factor. KF is equal to 1 plus Q times of KT minus 1. Q is given in the problem, that is fatigue, that is your notch sensitivity factor, which is 0.9. KT just now we have calculated, we can get the value of KF, and that KF is coming out to be 1.288. Once I get the value of KF, I can find out the value of KD. KD is 1 upon KF, which is 0.776. Now I got all the values, that is KA, KB, KC, KD, AC dash. I will just substitute all these values in the equation of AC, and I will get the value of SE. That is SE is equal to 145.54 Newton per mm square. क्या कोई डाउट यहाँ तक? This is the endurance limit stress. कोई डाउट? Hello.
No, sir.
Clear
No,
है?
sir.
Fine. So if you see, this is my Gerber diagram. I have found out the value of SE. Fine. Okay. Now see, in this diagram, this point X can be anywhere. I don't know the location of point X. I have to find out the location of point X. Fine. And you also know that Gerber diagram is plotted along the mean stress line as well as along the amplitude stress line. Fine. So first of all, I need to find out the value of mean stress as well as amplitude stress. How I can find out? I can find out from this particular value. Which value? That is this value. See, it is given that the minimum load acting is minus 50 Newton and maximum load acting is plus 150 Newton, and this load will cause or will create a bending in this beam. That means this beam will fail by bending at the fillet cross section. If I talk about the bending moment, now bending moment at the fillet cross section due to minus 50 Newton load is how much? Minus 50 into 100, that is minimum bending moment. MB minimum, that is how much? Minus 50 into 100, minus 5000 Newton millimeter. And maximum bending moment at the fillet cross section will be plus 150 into 100, that is maximum bending moment, which is MB max, that is 150 into 100, that is 15,000 Newton millimeter. Is it clear? मिनिमम बेंडिंग मोमेंट, मैक्सिमम बेंडिंग मोमेंट, क्या कोई डाउट यहाँ तक? क्या कोई
No,
डाउट
sir.
है? फाइन. तो जब मेरे पास मिनिमम बेंडिंग मोमेंट आ गया है, मैक्सिमम बेंडिंग मोमेंट आ गया है, देन व्हाट आई कैन फाइंड आउट? आई कैन फाइंड आउट द वैल्यू ऑफ मीन बेंडिंग मोमेंट, that is MB suffix M, and alternating bending moment MB suffix A. Then from mean bending moment and from alternating bending moment we can find out the value of mean bending stress, that is sigma M, and alternating bending stress sigma A. आया बात समझ में? आया समझ?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Fine.
sir.
So let us find out the value of mean bending moment. I know that mean bending moment will be half of मैक्सिमम बेंडिंग मोमेंट प्लस मिनिमम बेंडिंग मोमेंट. अगर ये लोड होता तो ये हो जाता हाफ ऑफ मिनिमम लोड प्लस मैक्सिमम लोड. अगर ये स्ट्रेस होता तो मीन स्ट्रेस हो जाता हाफ ऑफ सिग्मा मैक्स प्लस सिग्मा मीन. फाइन. वो तो प्रॉब्लम टू प्रॉब्लम डिपेंड करेगा. तो मीन बेंडिंग मोमेंट विल बी हाफ ऑफ मैक्सिमम बेंडिंग मोमेंट प्लस मिनिमम बेंडिंग मोमेंट, and amplitude bending moment will be half of maximum bending moment minus minimum bending moment. If you use these equations and if you solve it, you will get the value of mean bending moment to be 5000 Newton millimeter and amplitude bending moment to be 10,000 Newton millimeter. So MBM is 5000 Newton millimeter and MBA is 10,000 Newton millimeter. That is mean stress and amplitude bending moment, mean bending moment and amplitude bending moment. क्या यहाँ तक किसी को डाउट? कोई क्या कोई डाउट है किसी को यहाँ तक?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Yes.
ओके फाइन. सो अगर आपको याद होगा, व्हेन आई वाज डिस्कसिंग द कॉन्सेप्ट ऑफ मॉडिफाइड गुडमैन डायग्राम, फाइन. सो देयर वाज अ पॉइंट एक्स, और वो पॉइंट एक्स कब आता है? when you get this angle theta, from because जब आपको theta मिल जाएगा then you can draw a straight line and that straight line will intersect your modified Goodman diagram at some point x. same thing यहाँ पर भी है. fine, because I don't know ये जो value है MBA, that is 10,000 Newton millimeter, MBM which is 5,000 Newton millimeter, अगर इसको आप convert करते हो सिग्मा ए, सिग्मा बेंडिंग, सिग्मा ए और सिग्मा एम में वो वैल्यू कहाँ पे होगा? कहीं पर भी हो सकता है. पूरे डायग्राम में कहीं पर भी हो सकता है, अंदर भी हो सकता है, बॉर्डर पे भी हो सकता है. So I need to find out that value. So in order to finding out that value, I need the value of angle theta. So how I can get the value of theta? See, I know that tan theta is what? Tan theta is nothing but perpendicular by base. Perpendicular is nothing but sigma A by sigma M. But I have the values in terms of bending moment, that is MBM and MBA. So I have to convert this tan theta equal to sigma A by sigma M in terms of mean bending moment and alternating bending moment. कैसे convert करूँगा? Then I have to use the bending equation, that is m by I इक्वल टू सिग्मा बाई वाई इक्वल टू ई बाई आर, उससे कर सकता हूँ फाइन. I You can use that equation. So tan theta is what? MBA by MBM. This is your alternating bending. Sorry, this is y is your alternating bending moment. X is your mean bending moment. So MBA is 10,000 divided by MBM is 5,000. If you solve it, take the inverse of tan inverse of 2, you will get the value of theta. Then that theta is 63.43 degree. Then by the help of protractor, if I draw a line which is inclined at an angle of 63.43 degree, that line will intersect your Gerber line at point X, and that point is having X value as Sm. That point is having your X value, that is this value is nothing but Sm, because on X axis your X axis is sigma m, it can be any value, that value is nothing but Sm. And in Y axis, which is your sigma a, that value is nothing but Sa. क्या ये बात समझ में आया? क्या ये बात समझ में आया? हेलो.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Okay,
Sunrise, sir.
okay, fine.
Yes.
Fine. So next what I need to do is I need to find out this value of SA and SM, because now I have to use what? I have to use Gerber equation to find out the diameter of the component. So let us use the Gerber equation. I know that Gerber equation is nothing but it is an equation of parabola, that is x by a whole square plus y by b is equal to 1, where a and b are intercept on x and y axis. And by intercept I mean where your Gerber curve is touching your x-axis and where it is touching your y-axis. So it is sigma m by SUT. See, in x-axis Gerber curve is touching in SUT, and in y-axis your Gerber curve is touching in SE. So the equation becomes sigma m by SUT whole square plus sigma a by SE equal to 1. This is the general equation of Gerber curve, but we are interested at only point X. So for point X, how the Gerber equation will change? I know that for point X, your X value is Sm, and for point X, your Y value is Sa. So in place of sigma m is your what? It is your X axis. So in place of sigma m, I can write Sm, and in place of sigma a, which is your Y axis, I can write Sa. So for point X, whose coordinate is Sm and Sa, above equation becomes Sm by Sut whole square plus Sa by Se equal to 1, where sigma m is nothing but Sm, sigma a is nothing but Sa. क्या ये क्लियर हुआ? कैसे ये इक्वेशन चेंज हुआ सिग्मा एम से एस एम, सिग्मा ए से एस ए? कोई डाउट? हेलो.
No, sir. No.
Fine. Okay. So now SUT is given to you, so you can substitute, that is SM by 600 whole square plus SA by SE. SE just now we have calculated, that is 145.54 Newton per mm square. So SA by 145.54 is equal to 1. This is equation number 1. In this equation you are having two unknowns, one is SM, another one is SA. So you need one more equation to find out the value of Sm and Sa. So how I can get that equation? For that, again go back to the again go back to the Gerber diagram. This is my Gerber diagram. Now in this Gerber diagram, if you see this triangle, which triangle? if you see this particular triangle, I can write tan theta is equal to perpendicular. Perpendicular is nothing but SA. This is SA divided by base. Base is nothing but SM. लिख सकता हूँ कि नहीं ये डायग्राम देख के? हेलो,
Yes.
लिख सकता हूँ कि नहीं? बिकॉज दिस वैल्यू इज माई SA, परपेंडिकुलर SA है एंड बेस मेरा SM है. तो अगर मैं ये ट्राइंगल ले लूँ देन आई कैन राइट tan थीटा इज इक्वल टू SA बाई SM, परपेंडिकुलर बाई बेस. Yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
Fine. So
90
tan
degrees.
tan theta is SA by SM. So tan theta is equal to SA by SM. Theta already I have calculated, that is 63.43 degree. So you will get one relation, that is SA is equal to tan of 63.43, that is 1.99 times of SM, which is equation B. Now you solve equation A and equation B, you will get, because you are having two equations, two unknowns, you will get the value of SA and SM, and those values are SA is equal to 144.19 Newton per mm square and SM is 72.46 Newton per mm square. क्या ये क्लियर हुआ?
Yes, sir.
बाकी लोग रेस्पॉन्ड करो, क्या ये क्लियर हुआ?
Yes, sir.
ये
Yes,
SA
yes,
and
sir.
SM. Fine. Okay. So we have calculated the value of SA, we have calculated the value of SM, we are done. Now the last step is we need to find out what the diameter of the beam. Fine. If you see this problem, in this problem fluctuating load is acting, and when in a problem a fluctuating load is acting, then definitely that problem will fail by fatigue. And we also know that fatigue failure will only take place when you take alternating stress into account, because mean stress will not give you or will not give rise to fatigue failure, because from the mean line, if your stress deviates above and below the mean line, then only you will get the fatigue failure, and that deviation is nothing but your alternating stress. Fine. So we got the value of SA, which is 144.19 Newton per millimeter square. We got the value of SM, which is 72.46 Newton per millimeter square. So from these two values, we will take SA into account to calculate the value of diameter of the beam. Why? Because the problem, your cantilever beam is failing by fatigue subjected to fluctuating stress. If the beam would have failed in would have failed in axial loading, fine. If your problem, that means if your cantilever beam is not failing in fatigue, then you might have taken the SM value. Fine. So how we can find out the value of the diameter? For that I have to use the expression for factor of safety. I know that because factor of safety is also given to you in the problem. I know that factor of safety is what? It is nothing but failure stress by allowable stress. Fine. So failure stress is which stress? That is nothing but SA value, because in alternating stress, SA will be the failure stress divided by permissible stress. Permissible stress is nothing but sigma A, alternating stress. Fine. Because my beam is failing at point X. So I can write sigma A is SA by factor of safety. What is sigma A? Alternating stress. Fine. This I have to find out. How I can find out? I have to use the bending equation. Bending equation is what? Bending equation is M by I equal to sigma by Y equal to E by R. At E by R, I will not take it to account. Sigma is what? Sigma is M into Y by I. So M, which bending moment? It is alternating bending moment. So MBA into Y. Y will be what? It is a cantilever beam, and we are interested in finding out the diameter of the beam at the fillet cross section, and that diameter is nothing but small d. So Y will be half of the neutral axis, that is d by 2 divided by I. Since I am talking about beam and the diameter d is given to you, that means cross section of the beam is circle, so that I will be pi by 64 d to the power 4. So this d and this d will cancel, this 232 the 64, if you solve it, you will get this particular term, that is sigma A is nothing but 32 MBA by pi d cube, which is equal to SA by factor of safety. SA is given, that is 144.19, divided by factor of safety, it is also given, I think factor of safety is 2. Yes, factor of safety is 2. 32 into MBA. MBA is alternating bending moment. Already we have calculated MBA, that is how much? 10,000 Newton millimeter. So 32 into 10,000 divided by pi d cube. You solve this expression, you will get the value of diameter of the cantilever beam, and that diameter is coming out to be 11.22 mm. This is the diameter of the beam when you have taken Gerber theory into account. क्या कोई डाउट यहाँ तक?
No, sir.
अदर पीपल प्लीज रेस्पॉन्ड. क्या कोई डाउट है?
No, sir.
ठीक है, इजी है.
No, sir.
Next is I need to find out the same diameter of the beam by using modified Goodman diagram. Fine, I know what is modified Goodman diagram. When you combine the Goodman diagram with the yield diagram, Goodman diagram is a straight line joining AC in y-axis with SUT in x-axis. Fine, so this region OABC is my modified Goodman diagram. Fine, we already found out the value of theta. So at an angle theta, so with the help of protractor, fine, at theta equal to 63.43 degree, you are having this line, and this line will intersect your modified Goodman diagram at some point x. That point x is having x component as Sm, is having y component as Sa. Again, for this modified Goodman diagram, I have to find out the value of Sa and Sm. Fine, and then we will take Sa into account to get the value of diameter of the beam. But in this case, what will change? Equation of the line will change, because we are talking about Goodman diagram. We know that the equation of Goodman diagram is what? That is, since it is a straight line, so it will be x by a plus y by b equal to 1, where a and b are what? Intercepts of x and y axis. X axis is nothing but your sigma m, y-axis is nothing but your sigma a, but we are interested in only point x whose coordinate in x-axis is sm. That means I have to replace sigma m by sm, and whose coordinate in y-axis is sa. That means I have to replace sigma a by sa. So the final equation becomes sm by sut plus sa by se equal to 1. Sut is given to you, so that is sm by 600 plus SA by SE. SE we have found out, that is 145.54, which is equal to 1. That is equation number C. You need one more equation to get the value of SM and SA. That equation already you know. That is, you know this equation. That is tan theta is equal to SA by SM, where tan of 63.43 is equal to SA by SM. That is this equation, equation number B. SA is equal, because theta is same. Theta is not changing. Fine. So SA is equal to 1.99 times of SM, which is equation number B. And the new equation, because we are talking about the modified Goodman diagram, so we have to use the modified Goodman diagram equation. That is equation number C. Solve B and C, you will get the value of SM and SA. And your SM is coming out to be 65.21 Newton per mm square, and SA is coming out to be 129.78 Newton per mm square. क्या यहाँ तक कोई डाउट? एवरीथिंग इज सेम,
No,
ओनली
sir.
ओनली व्हाट इज हैपनिंग, वहां पे मैंने गर्बर थ्योरी यूज किया था, यहाँ पे मैंने मॉडिफाइड गुडमैन डायग्राम यूज किया था. तो क्योंकि आपने मॉडिफाइड गुडमैन डायग्राम यूज किया है, तो इक्वेशन ऑफ द मॉडिफाइड गुडमैन डायग्राम यहाँ पे लगेगा. वहां पे गर्बर थ्योरी का इक्वेशन लगा था, दूसरा इक्वेशन तो सेम ही है बिकॉज थीटा सेम है. फाइन, सो दोनों को इक्वेशन को आप यूज करके यू कैन गेट द वैल्यू ऑफ एस एम एंड एस ए. क्या कोई डाउट यहाँ तक? एस एम एंड एस ए इन दिस मॉडिफाइड गुडमैन डायग्राम?
No, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. No, sir.
Clear? Okay.
Yes.
So since SM and SA we have calculated, the last part is what? We need to find out the diameter of the cantilever beam. And I know that since the given problem is failing at the notch cross section due to fatigue. Fine. So for fatigue, SA is responsible, that is alternating stress is responsible. So factor of safety is failure stress by alternating stress. Failure stress is nothing but your SA divided by alternating stress is your sigma A. So sigma A is equal to SA by factor of safety. SA we have calculated, that is 129.78 divided by factor of safety given in the problem, which is 2. And what is sigma A? Again I will use that same concept, that is sigma y equal to m by I equal to sigma y equal to E by R. Fine, from that concept I will get sigma A as 32 into alternating bending moment, that is MBA by pi d cube equal to SA by factor of safety. So MBA already I have calculated MBA, that is how much, 10,000 Newton millimeter. So 32 into 10,000 divided by pi d cube, which is equal to SA by factor of safety. SA is 129.78 divided by factor of safety 2. So if you solve this expression, you will get the value of the diameter of the beam to be 11.62 mm. So this is the diameter of the cantilever beam when you are taking modified Goodman theory as the failure criteria. And if you take the Gerber theory as failure criteria, you will get the diameter of the beam as 11.22 mm. Is the problem clear to all of you? क्या कोई डाउट है प्रॉब्लम में?
No, sir.
Clear, sir.
अदर पीपल प्लीज रेस्पॉन्ड.
No,
बाकी
sir,
लोग
clear.
क्लियर है? ओके. अब यहाँ पे देखो, यहाँ पे एक इंटरेस्टिंग चीज है जो नोट करना है. जब आप मॉडिफाइड गुडमैन डायग्राम यूज करते हो, आपका डायमीटर आता है 11.62 mm, एंड व्हेन यू आर यूजिंग गर्बर थ्योरी, योर डायमीटर इज कमिंग आउट टू बी 11.22 mm. और अगर आप डिजाइनर हो तो आप दोनों में से कौन सा थ्योरी यूज करके बीम का डाया निकालोगे? मॉडिफाइड गुडमैन थ्योरी यूज करोगे या गर्बर थ्योरी यूज करोगे? अगर आप डिजाइनर हो, फाइन, गर्बर थ्योरी में आपका डाया आता है 11.22 mm, एंड
गर्बर ही
गुडमैन
करूंगा.
एंड मॉडिफाइड गुडमैन थ्योरी से आपका डाया आता है 11.62 mm. तो दोनों में से कौन सा थ्योरी आप यूज करके डाया निकालोगे, मतलब बीम का जो डाया है वो डिजाइन करोगे? कौन सा डायमीटर लेके आप बीम बनाओगे?
सर गड़बड़ थ्योरी है तो
गर्बर थ्योरी अगर लोगे तो वहां पे डायमीटर है 11.22 mm, और आपका मॉडिफाइड गुडमैन में डायमीटर है 11.62 mm. तो अगर आप मान लो 11.22 mm लेके आप बीम को डिजाइन करते हो, तो क्या गारंटी है कि 11.22 mm में आपका बीम फेल नहीं होगा फटीग में? आपको चेक करना पड़ेगा. तो अगर आप 11.62 ज़्यादा वाले को लेके अगर आप डिज़ाइन करते हो, तो अगर 11.62 mm के लिए आपका बीम सेफ है डिज़ाइन में इन फटीग, तो 11.22 के लिए तो सेफ होगा ही होगा. होगा कि नहीं होगा? तो आप तो ज़्यादा
हाँ,
लेके,
yes, sir.
आप तो डिज़ाइन में एक टॉलरेंस लेके चलते हो ना, कि ज़्यादा लेके आप ज़्यादा के लिए डिज़ाइन करते हो कि कम के लिए डिज़ाइन करते हो?
सो ऑप्टिमल एक्चुअली, क्योंकि अगर ज्यादा भी लेंगे तो मटेरियल ज्यादा
हाँ, तो
लगेगा.
अभी आपके पास दो ही ऑप्शन है, आइदर गर्बर थ्योरी या फिर गुडमैन, मॉडिफाइड गुडमैन थ्योरी. गर्बर में आपका आ रहा है 11.22 mm, और मॉडिफाइड गुडमैन में आपका आ रहा है 11.62 mm. तो ये दोनों में से आपके पास दो ही ऑप्शन है. सो विच ऑप्शन यू विल चूज? You will choose the
Modified Goodman.
modified Goodman option, because if you as the designer, if you are designing a beam, and while designing the beam, if the beam is safe to design in fatigue in 11.62 mm as diameter, definitely it will be safe to design in 11.22 mm. that means ये जो 11.62 mm है, ये मैक्सिमम कंडीशन है. इसके बाद अगर आप और डाया बढ़ा दोगे तो बीम फेल हो जाएगा. देन मॉडिफाइड गुडमैन थ्योरी भी एप्लीकेबल नहीं होगा, और आपका गर्बर थ्योरी भी एप्लीकेबल नहीं होगा. देन आपको कुछ और थ्योरी देखना पड़ेगा. आ रहा है बात समझ में? हेलो.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Alright, so that's why I have told you in previous two classes that अगर आप ये डायग्राम देखो, which diagram? That is this diagram. अगर आप ये डायग्राम देखो, इस डायग्राम से ये समझ में आ रहा है कि if I use Gerber theory, then my design is always safe. But this is not correct. अभी मैंने आपको प्रूफ कर दिया न्यूमेरिकल में। गर्बर थ्योरी में डायग्राम पे समझ में आ रहा है कि एरिया अंडर द डायग्राम इज मोर, बट मैंने अभी अभी आपको प्रूफ किया by the help of that problem. Fine, it is not necessary कि अगर area under the curve is more, so Gerber theory is always applicable to design the problem. No, always we go for modified Goodman theory. Fine, because modified Goodman theory में क्या होता है? In modified Goodman theory, fine, any point lying within the curve is safe to design for fatigue failure as well as for yield failure, जो कि गर्बर थ्योरी डिफाइन नहीं करता है. So that's why always we will design the component in fatigue when it is subjected to fluctuating load using modified Goodman theory if any other theory is not given to you. आया बात समझ में?
Yes, sir.
आ गया? कोई डाउट किसी को? कोई
No,
डाउट
sir.
इस प्रॉब्लम में?
Clear.
ठीक है, तो इस टाइप का प्रॉब्लम आपको और भी मिल जाएगा किताब में, सॉल्व्ड मिल जाएगा, अनसॉल्व्ड मिल जाएगा. फाइन, आप देख लेना. खाली थोड़ा बहुत इस प्रॉब्लम में जैसे क्या बेंडिंग हो रहा है, किसी प्रॉब्लम में शेयरिंग होगा, किसी प्रॉब्लम में एक्सियल स्ट्रेस होगा, तो वो आप किताब में देख लेना. तरीका यही रहेगा सॉल्व करने का. फाइन, और तो फिर हम लोग कल मिलेंगे. सो वी विल मीट टुमारो इन द इवनिंग at around 8 p.m. 8 to 9:30 p.m. We are left with this last topic of this module, that is fatigue design under combined stress, and with this we will wrap up this module. Okay, so till then I am ending the meeting over here. If you want to ask anything, you may ask, or else you may leave the meeting. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you, sir.
welcome.